Hey boys, sorry, late, better late than never. Mate, morning, evening, any time of the day. Boys, I've really enjoyed this, and I just thought I would just share kind of a little spiritual thought here, just an experience that I had here in the last week. I had the opportunity to go to Calgary last Sunday. I have a younger cousin that was admitted into the Foothills Hospital who was sick, really sick, myocarditis, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but anyways, she had serious inflammation of the heart, and she's been put on life support, and a real serious situation. And I just had the thought that somebody might reach out. For whatever reason, on my dad's side of the family, when they are in tough circumstances or up against a lot, they will often reach out for a blessing. And sure enough, the call came, and inquiry anyways. And I happily said I would come. So I made my way to Calgary with actually her brother. And that was just a good conversation. And obviously me pondering and praying about this young girl and maybe what the Lord would want me to say, or, seeking some inspiration in a real tough situation. The blessing was awesome. It was a very unique experience, but it's actually not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to share is after we were done, given the blessing, and we just kind of went out and just had a discussion as a family with her parents, her mom and dad, and her brother. And I just invited them to pay attention to two things. The first being the veil. Just look for angels, look for people on earth that are the angels, and just be aware that the veil is thin, and that the people from the other side in these times of need really want to help. And it was interesting, from this big old cowboy Gentile, my uncle says to me, I believe that they're close. And he kind of gives the look like this. He goes, I think they're like right here. And he takes his hand and he weighs it in front of his face. And I says, like right here. And he goes, yeah, we can't see them, but I think they're like right here. And I was just touched by that, Gentiles' expression of what they feel like the spirit world was. I thought that was just kind of a powerful explanation for how close the spirit world really is. The second thing that I challenged them to do was to look for the small wins every day as they embrace this life of the hospital, as they hope for the recovery of their daughter. And I just said, look for the miracles and look for the wins. Being two things. One, what the doctors give you for information, and acknowledge the wins every day. If they give you good news, take it as a win. On the flip side, if you maybe don't get information that you're looking for, maybe look for the small miracles where you can see God's hand in all of this. And so then I just asked them what was the win of the day. And my Aunt Laura, right away, in just a simple rancher lady's way, humble, just full of love, she says, first thing this morning. And I chuckled and I said, well, tell me. And she goes, I walked into the hospital and I was full of guilt, feeling like if I had only reacted quicker to my daughter's needs, and if I would have paid a little bit more attention to how sick she really was. The mom is actually who phoned 911 in the end. She goes, I think, I was just feeling these emotions of I shoulda, or I coulda, or I woulda. And she was just going through these emotions. And she says, I walked into the ICU this morning and I grabbed a hold of Lindsay's hand and I just said, Lindsay, I had a terrible night. I was just reflecting on how I could have done something different. I could have reacted sooner. I should have come. I should have, and she just said, Lindsay, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I'm just full of regret. And as soon as she said that, the nurse, a dude behind her, basically running her life on a computer for the most part, the ICU nurse, he pipes up and he says, Laura, stop. Don't do it. And it kind of startled my aunt. And she said she turns to the nurse, and the nurse pulled away from the computer and came over to the bedside and just said, hey, you need to look forward with faith and look forward with anticipation of good things to happen. I lived a lot of my life with all that regret. And because of that, I've given myself a constant reminder. And that is shoulda, coulda, woulda, don't do it. And he rolled back his sleeve, and right on his forearm, he had shoulda, coulda, woulda, don't do it tattooed on her arm, on his arm. And she just said it was just a sign to her, just a simple tender mercy, a simple miracle that was a message from God, and in a Gentile way. And it was just raw and real and tender. And I was just reminded that, you know what, it is the small and simple things in life that draw us closer to God, allow us to feel the Spirit and bless our lives. And so, boys, again, simple little message. Look for the miracles, and I think you'll find them. Anyways, boys, love you, and happy Mate group.